Good morning. It's July 15th, a little later today because I had something to do right at 9 o'clock. I'm going to head over into Lakeview today and do a sort of street by street like I did in Cathedral yesterday. It's already 25 degrees. I missed the coolest weather a little earlier, but it's not too bad yet. It is going to 30 something today. We've got a heat warning, so that's always fun. Watch out for that. Well, I'm running into all these people on the street here. There's not usually people on the street at this time of day. So I was doing another podcast interview, is why I'm a little later this morning. Violet Milan, who's a fellow author, fantasy author. She's from Canada, but she's now moved to her background term. I think her father was Spanish and her mother was Polish, or vice versa. And she and her husband have moved to Spain. Retired to Spain, I guess you'd say. And so she was in Spain and I was here. We were talking, which is the amazing thing about modern technology. Going to block the alley there. What's he doing? I'm glad I'm not in a car coming this way, or I would be upset at this moment. Emerald Water Ice. He delivers ice. We'll go across the Albert Street Bridge instead of the footbridge to start, is my plan. I also started editing another story for Shapers of Worlds Volume 2. And I need to get a couple of those done today. I need to edit on The Tangled Stars, and I also have an editing assignment that's overdue, actually. I kind of forgot about it, so I got to get that done today. It's not much, it's just a little manuscript evaluation I'm doing. And it's a short manuscript, but it'll only take a few minutes, I think, to write up the evaluation. It'll take a lot longer to edit this particular manuscript. It's a bit of a mess. So if I end up editing it, that'll be more more work. But again, it's short, so there's that. I do some of that freelance editing. In fact, I should say I definitely do that. If you're on here and you're looking for a freelance editor, I would be happy to do it for a reasonable recompense. And I know it's silly, but I always kind of feel guilty as an editor because I didn't take advantage of an editor at all. I just wrote to the best of my ability. I self-edited until I got to the point where I could sell things. And nowadays you can spend thousands of dollars on editing services and still not end up with a book you can sell to a traditional publisher if that's your goal. Of course, if you're self-publishing, you can spend thousands of dollars on editing services, have a very fine book, but not sell anything to make back that money. So it just depends on your goal, I guess. If just getting the book out is the goal and you want it to be the best that it can, then sure. If you're trying to make money, well, that's a different calculation. Still working down there. I'll walk through there tomorrow. So here we are on the Albert Street Bridge. There's a kind of a haze in the sky. I don't know if it's smoke or not, but it very well might be. There are a lot of fires burning in northern Saskatchewan. Well, I see our flags have gone just to Canadian flags now. I've never actually seen them changing the flags. I just see different flags. Tomorrow we'll walk around the lake, and it'll be exciting because we'll walk in the opposite direction than I've been walking every other time I go around the lake this year. Since our official restrictions have lifted, I'm going to walk counterclockwise tomorrow, so that'll be a thrill to look forward to. Yeah, and I pointed out every time I go across here the lovely terracotta, I guess, balustrades on the bridge. And there's the creek. Are there pelicans down there today? Oh, yes, there's a pelican. It's about as close as I've gotten to one. And of course, the Saskatchewan coat of arms. And the buffalo head. I kind of went by them really fast last time, but that's what the buffalo heads look like. Or the bison heads. Technically they're bison, I guess. I'll just say the building over there. I'm going to do this street by street between Regina Avenue and McCallum, I think. That's my plan. That's a couple of blocks, maybe 3. And we'll see how the time goes as I do that. So you can't keep walking along the bridge. You have to go inside the balustrade or the railing or whatever you want to call it. So that's the park back there. Buffalo are on this side of the bridge too. They're not just on the, what you might think of as the front facing side. And I don't know what they're doing on the street here, some sort of construction. Pedestrians watch for turning vehicles, yeah, that's for sure. They're not supposed to turn right on red here, but they also can't see you very well as they come up to the corners, so not sure what they're doing along here, but maybe I won't be going right up Albert to start with, which was my original idea. We'll start one street over along Regina Avenue. Some more of the provincial flower, prairie lilies there. Regina Avenue goes straight out to the airport. I've been on it many times. In fact, Monday I walked back along it down at the other end. It's always the interesting old houses along here, and then some newer ones as well. I always like to walk on the side with the cars facing away from me. I don't know why. So the first street is Ray. Angus. Oh, what is it? It's Angus. The lovely overarching trees that we have in this neighborhood, and ours too. I think of this as Lakeview, and it is, but Lakeview is actually a very large area. I've walked through many parts of it, but it actually is quite big. See older houses along here. of varying sizes, some small, some larger. This is 20th. We'll be crossing it multiple times on this walk. If you're there on Facebook or YouTube, say hello. I know I'm on an odd time, but I'm still here. Tomorrow will be around the lake. Saturday I may repeat what I did last Saturday, only this time with sound. Because last Saturday I got about 20-30 minutes in and my microphone died. Always point this one out. Big old house, and it was something else, and I don't know what it is now, if it's divided into apartments or what. Probably. It was a group home of some sort at one point. Big one over there that was expanded not long ago. So we're just going to do this back and forth up those 2 blocks and then see where we're at when we get down to Elphinstone at the other end. Besides, McCallum has nice houses along it too. Many of which are in my book, Historic Walks of Regina and Moose Jaw, which you can still purchase. Just not for me. I don't have any copies. Maybe one for myself. Big one there. I like this one, the kind of the Spanish and the red tile roof, blue and white. So I was just talking to somebody in Spain. I don't know if they consider that Spanish or not. But I think how often there are cars just sitting and idling. I don't know why. Okay, now we all go up Ray. Or down Ray. Up Ray, I guess. So we're going north. There's a nice front garden. And here as well. The house is an interesting color too. The green. Lots of people like their front yard gardens along here. I like the look of them too. As I've said before, I'm just not sure I am constitutionally or possibly physically interested in maintaining one. If we put one in, it's like a lot of work to keep them looking good. And I suppose if I had it, I would want it to look good, and that would be enough motivation. The establishing it, I wouldn't even know how to begin. One for sale on this corner. If you'd like. It's nice. And we come back to Regina Avenue for our next turn around the end. Some more front gardening. I like that one. I have a feeling that might have been in my historic walk. I have a feeling I remember being on this street in the snow, taking pictures of houses, and maybe there was somebody in front of that and they talked to me. It looks familiar, so that could have been it. Around the bend. One being thoroughly refurbished, it looks like, or at least it's being restuccoed, I would say. Roof, too. I would say because there's a roofing truck in front, seems to be a dead giveaway. Lovely front yards along here. I mentioned before, I've been in that house on the end, the two-toned one, before the alley. The sort of head of programming at the Saskatchewan Science Center lived there back when I worked at the Science Center. And we were in there for a staff party once. Ah, yes, I remember it well. Ah. All right, we go up another 2 blocks, back to McCallum. Oh, drat, I hate it when I run into somebody on the sidewalk, especially with a dog. There's always somebody with a dog. 2 dogs in this case. I think they'll win. It's always nice to walk down the middle of the street anyway. Or camping equipment, as somebody noted. There seems to be a lot of camping equipment on the streets this time of year. I hope that's their driveway since they're blocking it. Another nice front garden. Lots of flowers. Here's some more prairie lilies, provincial flower. I don't know what the provincial bird is. Blue jay, maybe? I should know. I really notice it when I step into the sun. Oh, there's somebody blocking this sidewalk too. Maybe I'll walk down the other side here. Another truck. more work. Tis the season. Smaller houses along this street for the most part. I'll go back to the other side again. Especially that one. Very neat and tidy. Quite small. But, lovely all the same. Another neat and tidy little one. Nice looking yard, nice and green. Oh, here's a yellow version of the lily. And over here. Well, that one's interesting too, just because of the windows and the shingles. Very unique. Very unique. I hate that. It's either unique or it isn't unique. There's no such thing as very unique. Let's just say it's unique. Sorry. I have a frog in my throat. And here is McCallum again. So we go around the corner again. Get a view of this side of McCallum. And over here, lots of interesting old houses here. Some more nice front yard gardening. And more prairie lilies. This one here, recently refurbished, I would say. Go around the corner and head back to Regina Avenue and hopefully find some shade. Now, there's construction work going on down here too. Don't think the sidewalk is blocked though. Hard to tell. Well, it might be. This might change my approach. The white one there is interesting. A bit different. It's right next to the newer, well, I think that's a newer, more modern one next to it. But it certainly has an interesting look to it. I don't think I can go all the way to Regina Avenue along here. I think sidewalk is blocked. Let's see if it's blocked on the other side or if I can walk down there. Otherwise I'll just have to take a different path. I think maybe I can walk down the other side. This one has solar panels on its roof. Definitely not original equipment. I can't go down there for sure, but maybe I can walk down the sidewalk on this side. And there are weird little traffic island things, probably from the 20s or thereabouts. Can I go down this one? Not really. All right. I've talked about this one before. This house I've walked by a few times. I really like the looks of it as the modern ones go. You make good use of their corner lot here. I guess we'll, oh, I know. We'll go down the alley. That's what we'll do. That'll get me sort of down there. It doesn't go right through to Regina Avenue, but it'll take me past the construction. So far, still far. Nobody has said hello today, so it's one of those days when I'm all alone out here. It was nice to see some flowers in the back too, just to dress up the alley a bit. Otherwise you tend to get weeds. So if I go around to the right, that should bring me down past the construction and I can sort of continue my planned for path here. Mentioned earlier in the week, several times now, that I had a new book out this week through Shadowpaw Press. Star Song, which is a young adult science fiction novel. Grew out of a short story I wrote a long time ago. Was almost sold in its original form as a novel in the early 90s, never found a home, completely rewrote it start to finish, and published it myself as of Tuesday through Shadowpaw Press. Sold a few copies so far. Like to sell more, so go check it out. Star Song. You can find it on Amazon or Barnes & Noble or Indigo or wherever you like to shop online. Or go to your local bookstore, physical bookstore, and ask them to bring it in. That's always cool if you want a print copy. You can also get those directly from me, e-books and print copies, but I can't match the cheap shipping of Amazon, so though it pains me to say it, if you want a print copy, you should get it through Amazon or Barnes & Noble or Chapters. Unless you want it autographed, then you should get it through me. And it's available to download directly from me as well. Actually, that's the way I make the most money, would be if you downloaded it directly from me or buy print directly from me. Either way though, check it out if you like science fiction, young adult science fiction in the mode of Robert A. Heinlein or Andre Norton, because they were huge influences on me as a young writer, which I was when I first came up with this story, or at least the seed of this story. I was only in my 20s when I wrote the first draft, so still a young writer for sure. That original version that almost sold was written when I was in my 20s and touched up a little in my early 30s, I guess. Still nobody has said hello. I can't see the screen at the moment to see how long I've been walking, see if this is going to work out about right time-wise. I feel like it might. A couple more of the really new ones in the neighborhood, one of which is for sale. The second one along here has a for sale sign on it if you're in the market. That one. Muriel Harvey, realtor. And over here we have Lakeview School, built well over 100 years ago now, I think about 1914. maybe even earlier. Like the brickwork on it. Ooh! You're not watching your feet is more of a hazard than you would think. Usually it's just the unexpected dip that I didn't see because I was looking up instead of down. There you go. See how this house is doing down here that I've been watching. Doesn't look like it's advanced much from the last time I walked along here. It still has bare wood on the outside. This one. I don't remember all this lumber piled out in front, so maybe they're working inside on studs or something. Here we are on McCallum again. Around the end of the schoolyard. Down the other side. Then Lakeview United Church coming up here, as I've mentioned before. Been in there many times. We have often rehearsed there with Regina Musical Theater for various things, including the 2 shows I wrote and directed. We rehearsed there. As Time Goes By, a love story with music and ghosts, and The Music Shop. I don't think the first one is on YouTube, but the second one you can actually watch on YouTube. Because of the music in it, I can't monetize it in any way, but it's there. They didn't take it down. It uses existing music, which we did under the organization's license with, what's it called? Not Canscape. I can't remember now. Anyway, the organization that collects money for public performances of music, which was fine for the live performance, but doesn't really cover the having a recording of it up, which is why nobody wanted to take it down, but they also won't let me make money off of it. But that's not why I put it up in the first place. So if you'd like to check it out, you can find it. It should be on my channel, I guess. Same channel this is on. Under the theater playlist, I think. And of course, both of those shows had a fantastical element, as you can tell from the first one. As Time Goes By, a love story with music and ghosts. And the second one, although you maybe can't tell from the title, was definitely a fantastical story with a kind of magical automated piano player and a woman who's a century old. There seems to be a daycare or something going on over there, so I won't point the camera in that direction at the school. Very warm now that I'm out of the shade. Pointed at this end of the school. Just didn't want to point the camera at the kids. Even though they were so far away, I don't think that anybody could have been recognized. But. All right, back across 20th. Around the end of Regina Avenue. So this will work out pretty good. I'll get to Elphinstone and want to be heading south on Elphinstone, and that's exactly how this is going to work out. Again, Nobody has said hello, so if you're there, say hello, please. This is a nice one. It's a new one. They've done nice stuff with the flowers out front. Look at that. Even a Buddha. I like that. Very nice. Regina Avenue once more. One more zig, one more zag, and we'll be heading home, I think. Oops. Oh, yay, there's somebody. I see there's somebody there. I can't make out for sure. Is it Roger? On Facebook? Can't read it though. Too bright. It's too darn bright. It's too darn bright. And too darn hot too. But it's too darn hot. That song is from Kiss Me Kate, which we did, I believe. I'm sure that's from Kiss Me Kate. Pretty sure. I played one of the gangsters who does Brush Up Your Shakespeare, which is a great number. Me and David Bellerive did it in the show. We didn't do that song. Ours was Brush Up Your Shakespeare, start quoting him now. Brush up your Shakespeare, and the women you will wow. If your girl don't respond when you flatter her, tell her what Anthony told Cleopatra. That's the general sense of that song. Oh wait, a little dimness, maybe I can see. Still can't quite make it out. We need a dark background. Let's look at that. Oh no, it's Paula. Hi, Paula. Yes, it is a bit hazy here. Yeah, they do dangle down on some of these trees anyway. Depends on the species, obviously. Yeah, there's a bit of haze. I don't smell smoke, and the light doesn't look orange, so I don't know if it's smoke, but I suspect it is. It might just be from the heat, though. As it heats up, it was cool. It's like 15 or 16 when we got up, and now it's 26 or 27, so that might alone account for the haze, I think. Normally, if it was thick enough to be seen, you'd be able to smell it if it was forest fire smoke from up north. Well, I don't know. Maybe there's a touch of it. Maybe it is smoke or a mixture. No tree branches on this side, low or high. Just sun. Outdoor skating rink over there. A little short of ice at the moment. Don't think it'd be good for your skates. Interesting play structure. But I loved it when I was a kid. I thought the most exciting thing I'd ever seen at a playground was a spiral slide once, as opposed to what we usually get: swings, teeter-totters, and those murderous merry-go-rounds that you get going at an immense rate of speed and then go flying off of it. Also, I got sick on those things. I don't know if you can get one of those going as fast as the ones I remember as a kid. Once more around here, then we'll be heading straight back on Elphinstone. Take a stroll through Waterfall Park, I think. I mean, I could carry on the other side, but I think I've had enough lengthwise for today's walk. By the time I get back, it should be about the usual length. Also, I don't know why, but there's poor connection over there whenever I've crossed over, which I'll still do again sometime, but I do seem to get unstable internet more often on the other side of Elphinstone here. Oh, sorry, Montague now. I forget that it changes names. I always call it Elphinstone, but technically it's Montague, but it's Elphinstone once you get north of Regina Avenue. I don't know why it changes. Oh, berries starting to come out. Not edible. Well, I guess they are edible, but they wouldn't, I think they give you a stomachache. All right, north on Montague. So there's the rink from this side, and the tower over there is Lakeview United Church that I mentioned earlier, where I've rehearsed many a show. Very small square houses over here. Usually that means post-war housing, when there was a housing shortage. It could be post-First World War, post-Second World War. I lived in one not too much bigger than that, which was post-First World War. In fact, it might have been smaller than some of these. It was a very basic layout. There was a living room, 2 bedrooms, each of which often opened directly off of the living room. Kitchen, good sized kitchen actually, except that it had a hole in the floor with steps going down into the basement. And the bathroom, no shower, just a tub, opened directly off of the kitchen, which was interesting. So, but for one person living alone, one guy living alone, it was very good. I used the second bedroom as my office, so I had a nice office space. And the master bedroom was a good size. Kitchen was functional. Basement for storage. Basement for flooding one memorable year, but I didn't really have anything on the floor that got damaged. So I lived there, I first moved up here. I lived up in the northwest. But I think I was only there a couple of years. And I was able to come down and live in the same neighborhood I'm in now, in that rental house on Garnet Street. And And I lived there till we got married in '97, so I probably lived on Garnet Street for 5 or 6 years in that little house. No air conditioning, I remember that. I would not have been happy right now. First thing we did when we moved into the current house, changing places with my mother-in-law, was to put in central air conditioning, because I was going to work at home on the second floor of the house, and weather like we're having right now, I needed air conditioning. The house was built in 1926, so air conditioning was not a thing when it was built, that's for sure. And when air conditioning did come along, we mostly found it in movie theaters more than anywhere else. Okay, we'll go down into Waterfall Park. Which way should I go? I'll go this way because I like the winding path. And there's this little ridge here with the big spruce trees on it that has a mountain feel, oddly enough, even though it's, oh, there's kids down there. I have to try to avoid pointing the camera at them. Even though we're a long way from the mountains, about 8-hour drive, 9-hour drive. And you can get to Calgary in 7.5 hours, and then it's most of an hour to get to the mountains. We'll go down here. So you see, you could almost feel yourself here in the mountains. And then here's the waterfall. Very much a non-natural waterfall. I suspect it's just pumped straight out of the creek. I don't know if anything's done to it. It might be filtered so this doesn't get green, but it's not drinkable. There's a sign here warning you of that. Again, it could almost be the mountains, you know, if you use your imagination. Oh, I see there's another long note which I haven't been able to read. Let's see if I can see that. Wait till my eyes adjust is the trouble. It's not so much that it's too dark, is that my eyes are adjusted to the bright light, so they're just little pinpricks and not picking up enough light here. Let's see. Well, why not stripe your bike to your helmet and ride? Lots of people do this stuff. There are a lot of live stream walks and other things that people do. As I mentioned, we were inspired by one called Walking Commuter, which I recommend looking up, because he walks around Manhattan. Not quite every day, I don't think. So far I haven't missed a day. I'm up to about 135 in a row, something like that. 130 something in a row without missing a day. Some have been shorter, like walking in the snowstorm or walking in the rainstorm, but still, usually it's about an hour. Sometimes it's an hour and a half on some days. I get really excited or simply plan badly. Oh yeah, little berries showing up on these bushes all along here. We're headed to the footbridge over there. Scanna Creek. Almost always have to cross a bridge somewhere, because I tend to be hanging around either north or south of the creek. And this footpath follows the creek all the way through the city, kilometers and kilometers. I don't know its total length. 15 kilometers, 20 kilometers, I don't know. One of the things Walking Commuter did that attracted our attention to him was something called the Great Saunter, which is a walk right around the Isle of Manhattan, all the way around. There's apparently a group of people that do that on a regular basis, or once a year anyway. But he did it by himself. It took him about 8 hours. And it was very cool, because when am I ever going to walk around the island of Manhattan? The creek looking west, and the creek looking east. So this is Cameron Street. Next one over is Garnet Street, where I lived. About second house from the end, I think. Third house from the end. Has new houses around it, but it's still there when I lived in. I've pointed it out a couple of times, but I'm not going by it today. A little out of the way. Oh, I see somebody on YouTube that said hi. Can't quite make it out because of the bright light. Let me see here. Oh, Miriam. Hi, Miriam. Almost done. Just 2 or 3 more blocks. I'm very warm. I think those dogs are behind the fence. Yes, they are. Hello. They look like you'd be hot. They look like they'd be hot on a day like today. Ooh. They drove me off. They're very proud of themselves. Some nice front gardening. Our contractor lives there, if I remember right. He'll be building a deck for us next year. We hope to do it this year, but... And he did all of our renovations. Oh, look, there's his sign. If you need renovations done, we recommend him. More prairie lilies, provincial flower. Then there's Retallick and 2 more blocks. They have a particularly big spruce in front of their house, particularly wide at the bottom anyway. Is in this nice shaded front. You don't have to worry about grass, nothing would grow under those spruce anyway. And they have the nice turret there, which I like. Very Bavarian, as I always say. I can't read the screen, I'm sorry. I see there's some long comments there, but I just can't see them. Unfortunately, the ones on Facebook stay. The ones on YouTube disappear as soon as I turn off the feed. You might see it here in the shade. Let me see. Oh, there's Paula saying goodbye. Goodbye. Now, Gail Bowen's house is not too far from here. Actually, I took a picture. Well, I interviewed her there once and took a photo of her in the street in the snow with the trees arching over her, and they actually used it as her author photo on a book or two. Her publisher did, which was kind of cool. She lives on the other side of the creek, but in that area where I was walking earlier. That's her neighborhood. Can't remember what street. And wouldn't tell you if I did. And Gail Bowen is a very well-known mystery writer here in Regina. Lives here in Regina. What's the name of her character? Joan Kilmore? Something like that? Here's our stop sign where I usually stop. And will again today. I can't tell how long I've walked, but it certainly felt long enough. Tomorrow around the lake, in the opposite direction than I've ever walked before. An all-new episode of Walking in Regina. Or a very special all-new episode, I guess that would be it. So thanks for walking with me today, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.